Hi, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Today I want to talk about the difference between baseball and archery, and you're going to say, well, what's this got to do with stuff? The first thing is, I want to look at the similarities between sports and how it was for me between the two sports. So as a kid, I used to play baseball. So my dad was very good at baseball. That's the first thing I'm going to say. Dad could throw curveballs and balls that went up, and Dad was very, very good at sport. So I'd come home every night, and my dad and I would sit on the back lawn and throw baseballs at each other. And he had a routine where we had to throw the baseballs so many times. I think it was like 50 or 100 times without dropping the ball. And every night we'd just sit there and throw the ball. Now, I also had a square on the back of my house, like a square box, and I would sit there and I would throw tennis balls at it, just to build the coordination. Now, to me, this is very similar to archery. I come home now from work, and tonight's a beautiful night. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's not as cold as it's been. It's starting to warm up, so all this cold weather's and darkness is heading to America, and we're now picking up some of the warmth and daylight from America. Anyway, so I come home from work and now I shoot. So to me, that's quite kind of similar. It's repetition and doing the same stuff. Now, I suppose the difference for me with baseball, so I played as a kid, and I'm going to say we never lost a game. We never, ever lost a game of baseball. Now, on my team, the pitcher for my team's name was Greatrex. Now, as I understand it, he was the Australian pitcher and became an Australian pitcher for baseball. As a result, it doesn't matter how much I threw that ball to my dad. I was never going to pitch. And I'm going to say my arm is not the greatest, but I was never going to pitch the baseball, ever. Never. That was never, ever going to occur. And I suppose that's the thing. So I'm sitting there every night. Every night my dad's making me throw the baseball to him. And it's like, and it's not a bad thing. My dad's passed on. And it's one of those things you kind of miss. But with archery, you can keep doing it. Like, I used to come home from school and shoot arrows. I'm now 52 years old. I come home and shoot arrows. And I'm going to say I'm getting better. My archery is significantly improved from the time I was a kid to the time now. And even in the last couple of years, my archery is much better in compound and recurve. Much, much better. Now, I'm going to say with baseball, you've obviously got the physical aspects of running around, but there's not too much physical, like running with baseball. There's hitting the baseball. Now, when I played baseball, I thought I was a pretty good hitter. So when I got to actually bat, because there's 9 people on the team, there's 9 innings, so you probably get to bat twice. So you get the chance to swing at the baseball 3 times the first time, and 3 times the second time if you're lucky. So the most you can do is 2 hits in a game. And then the rest of the time you're sitting down in the outfield or one of the bases where you're playing. Now, like I said, I don't think we ever lost a game. I don't even think it was close. So for me, like, baseball was like, it didn't really give me anything. Like, I was throwing the baseball with Dad was kind of okay, but his arm was so strong compared to mine. Didn't matter how hard I threw it, and I would try to throw harder and then I'd lose control, and it was kind of disappointing for me that I never learnt to throw the ball in different ways like my dad could. Anyway, when my son was growing up, I was like, well, we've got to do a sport. So he obviously did archery, and we signed up for baseball. So now I'm going to say his experience was quite a bit different to mine. Yes, we threw the baseball in the backyard, And I'm going to say his arm's probably better than mine, and he may be a better hitter than me. But the thing which was different with his baseball, and he was based in Canberra, was he belonged to a club. And what they would do is they would have, in a team of, I'm going to guess, 9 players, they would have like 5 kids assigned to be pitchers. So they would have pitching practice, and they would roll some other kids in to have practice pitching. And I'm going to say that his team was very, very good. And I'm going to say they did rotate the pitchers around a little bit. I don't say I can ever recall my son pitching the baseball. But it was a little bit more rotational. But still, like I said, I don't recall my son ever pitching a baseball. But he was in the pitching training thing. Now, he played with a few friends, baseball from school, and I would take them to baseball, all these kids. And I'm going to say they all dropped out. All of them. Because you go to baseball, you don't get to pitch, you get to stand in the field, and sometimes the ball will be hit out there, but most times not. And that's pretty much it. You'll get 2 attempts to hit the ball, and that's the end of your Saturday morning at baseball. Now, I think baseball's a good game. I like watching it, but it really gets down to having a strong pitcher. And I suppose with archery, what I really like about archery is you've still got the practice. Like, you can sit here and practice and practice and practice, and you'll get stronger, and you can get fitter, and you can do all that sort of stuff. There's form, which is very similar to baseball, throwing the baseball. It's much less scary. Like I got hit in the face with the baseball as a kid. I just hit a home run. So I ran around, hit a home run. I went down to pick my mitt up from behind the catcher. The pitcher pitched the ball. The baseball hit the top of the bat. The catcher obviously did not catch it, and it smacked me straight in my face because I didn't see it coming. So it went bang, and obviously broke my nose, and I went home with lots of blood. And obviously my nose never got fixed. But, whether you should be pitching the baseball while the guy is picking up the glove behind you, that's another question. And they put the gloves all behind the catcher. That's another point. But my thing is with archery, it's up to you. A lot of the people in the club are social shooters, and they shoot like once a week on a Saturday. Where I'm sitting here every night. I'm sitting here doing this. I'm trying to eat healthy. I have kids come into the shop and they're like, I want to be as good as you. And I'm like, well, you've just got to train more. You've just got to shoot more arrows than I do. That's it. And you've got to eat healthy. Eat healthy food. Eat healthy food, exercise, sleep, and shoot more arrows than I do. And chances are you're going to be better than me. With baseball, it's very hard to get that break. With archery, I see it all the time. A kid or an adult will come along and start shooting really, really well. And next minute they are doing things with it. And generally it doesn't even matter if you're competitive. What matters is that you shot better than you did last week. You go out and you say, I shot 300 last week. Next week I go out and I shoot 350. You feel good about yourself. I suppose with baseball, did I feel good when I hit a home run? Yeah, like I did, but there was I felt like I was a really good hitter. I felt like I hit the ball most of the time, unless the pitcher actually threw the baseball at me, so I had to walk. And that used to shit me because I get 2 chances. I get 2 chances to swing the baseball bat, and the guy throws the baseball at me, whacks me, and I get to walk to first. It's like, great, thank you very much. So for me, it was a bit disappointing. I never played as an adult. I was like, it's all a bit, I'm going to say scary. I don't know how the grading works. I don't know if my arm's strong enough. Like, I can hit a ball pretty good, but it was never a thing. Where archery, it doesn't matter how good you are. You can go down to your local club. There's all levels. and no one cares. They just like go and shoot some arrows, have fun. And there's all ages. Like I shot in a tournament, and the tournament was the three top archers for the club. Well, they kind of make the team. Three top archers for the club, and I've only shot the tournament once, right? So I've been here 8 years. I've shot the tournament once. The team was consisted of myself. I'm like, at the time, I'm probably 47. It was Ken. Ken's probably about 70, and it was Gord Bentley, a young kid. He was 14. Then we all shoot about the same scores, and we're a pretty strong team. Like, our three good archers. But the thing is, 14, 50, and 70. That is amazing. So we've got a kid, an adult, a medium-aged person, and an older-aged person all shooting the same. That's not going to happen in baseball. It's never going to happen. And the thing with archery, you can be a guy, you can be a girl, and you can shoot the same scores. In fact, you can get your ass kicked by girls. No problems at all. My mum used to kick everyone's ass. There's many girls, many Korean women doing recurve archery who kick all the boys' butts. At the latest World Cup, the lady shooting compound shot a score higher than it's ever been shot in Australia by a man. So people go, oh, male, female. Look, females are completely capable, recurve and compound, of competing. Absolutely. Is that the case with baseball? Probably not, because it goes down to strength and that sort of stuff. And speed, where you've got, advantages. So, all up, I'm going to say I've had experience with both and coaching. And look, I really like the group aspect to baseball. Like you're a team. But the team aspect to baseball didn't seem to be a team, if you know what I mean. You have a really good pitcher, and then you have some subsequent players, and hopefully some of the people on bases are pretty good at throwing the ball between the bases to tag out the people running, and hopefully you've got some people who can hit the ball on your team. But to me, I didn't get that sense. So it is a more team sport than archery. But I'm going to say, going back to archery, when I was on teams, I used to shoot in competitions, and even now I'm not a member of a team as such. Like, I'm not on the state team. Another question on that. But when I go to a tournament, I know everyone. And it's like, it's nice to see the people down there shooting, because it's like, I've known you for 8 years. And it's always sad to me when I sort of see, like, one of my friends posted a picture the other day of him and his kids shooting in an archery tournament 3 years ago. Now, they haven't shot. The kids have given up archery and, growing up and doing teenage girl stuff. And I'm not making excuses for the dad, but, it's sad. You miss them. I think he's doing dad duties, right? But you miss them. And I suppose that family unit that you get from archery, that you will develop with time, I never got from baseball. Never got it, and I'm not saying I wouldn't get it from baseball, but I never got it from baseball. And I played baseball for a number of years, and I'm going to guess 3 to 4, 5 years. So anyway, that's me comparing baseball to archery. You can put a note down if you've done baseball or archery. But I think archery is a very, very good sport. It's good for self-discipline. It's good for confidence in yourself. And all ages can shoot. All ages, and you can do it at home. You can come home and do some exercise. I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Thanks for watching.